Hello everyone in the group. So I'm Catherine and I'm here to speak to you about the Akashic Records, about some of the ways that you can work with the Akashic Records, what the Akashic Records are, and a bit about my journey with the Akashic Records. And then we'll go through a guided experience with, I think we'll do some, I came up with particular clearing blocks and agreements to fully accessing your spiritual gifts. So we can do some work around that for everyone that's listening now or listen in the future. So welcome. Thank you for joining me live, or if you're watching this at another time. You know, we all have lots going on, and there's hi, lovely to see you here. Lovely to see you here. Thank you so much for joining me. Wonderful to see everyone here. So yeah, I'm just introducing what we're going to go through today. So I'm going to start with talking a bit about what the Akashic Records are, some of the ways that you can access the Akashic Records, some of the ways that you can work with the Akashic Records, some of the types of information you can access from the Akashic Records, a bit about my journey with the Akashic Records, and then a guided experience. So you get a chance to experience one of the ways we can work with the Akashic Records. Because I'm a healer, essentially I'm a healer. I knew I was a healer when I was 16. And so the way that I work with the Akashic Records is, yes, to access and share information, but also I do a lot of healing work in the Akashic Records. So I wanted to give you an experience of some more healing focused work today, because that's what I love to do, and I'm very much about giving people an experience rather than just giving people information. So that's very much aligned with my purpose and my ways that I express my soul energy. My purpose, what I'm here to do, is through giving people an experience. So okay, so let's get started. Lovely to see you all here, and if you do have questions, probably best if I answer those. I'll make a question period. That'll probably be after I've shared information about my journey. I'll ask if anyone has any questions, because if I'm stopping all the time to answer questions, I will not be in my flow. So, okay, so the Akashic Records, a simple way to describe the Akashic Records is that they're an energetic record of all of our choices throughout time and space. So when we make choices, they create an energetic imprint, and so that is what our Akashic Records hold, and we can access that information about those choices. So those choices that our soul has made, that we have made as a soul, so throughout all our lifetimes, even on other dimensions. So those choices continue to affect us. And so the Akashic Records allows us to access information about those choices, and also so we can understand. They're really, the Akashic Records, I think, are one of the most amazing resources on the planet to assist us with, you know, accessing the wisdom of our soul from lifetimes, the guidance of our spiritual team, and really accessing information to assist us, and we can access information to assist other people too. So So we are at the third dimension. The mental level of perception and understanding life is at the fourth dimensional level. The Akashic Records are at the fifth dimensional level. So the Akashic Records give us that higher perspective, of that energetic perspective of where we can access cause and effect, where we can create change at the energies and patterns from which we're creating our life from. So they're pretty amazing. And they certainly have created huge life changes for me, which is why I'm so passionate about working with the Akashic Records and sharing with you. Because I know that learning the Akashic Records was really the turning point for me that shifted things so I could actually step into my work and be here speaking with you today and sharing, because that's not something I would have done 5 years ago before I learned the Akashic Records. Even a few years ago to 1 year ago, it's been a journey that's certainly, I believe, been speeded up by working with the energy of the Akashic Records. So, speaking about the ways we can access the Akashic Records. So I'm a teacher of the Akashic Records because I like to share this. I think it's an really important resource. It's also, I believe, part of I'm asked to teach this in my own way. I think we all have, many of us have different ways to share how to work with the Akashic Records. So I teach in my way. So lovely to see you here. Lovely to see you all here. Thank you so much for showing up. So most people who are teaching the Akashic Records seem to teach to use a prayer, to say a prayer to open the Akashic Records. That's one thing I see across the board, that people work with a prayer to access the Akashic Records. And it's my understanding and experience that when we're ready to teach the Akashic Records, we receive our own prayer. Thank you. So we receive our own prayer to access the Akashic Records, or, we can work with our teacher's prayer to assist us to access the records and, do all the things we can do before we receive our own prayer. So I notice that's consistent pretty much across the board with working with a prayer to access the Akashic Records. So some teachers, myself included, take their students through a guided experience, some type of attunement experience. Hi there, Marilyn. And so the way that I see it is that we naturally have it's part of our birthright to access the Akashic Records, and we can all do that. It's not like you have to come to me to learn the Akashic Records or anyone else, because you can access them. However, being given, like with anything, like Reiki, for example. Reiki is universal energy. It's a particular way of accessing universal energy. You don't have to learn Reiki to be able to access universal energy for healing. But similarly, it helps to have the symbols, the attunement, to tap into those energies in specific ways. The same with the Akashic Records. So I do guide people through an attunement, which helps you, it's like just plugs you in, if you like, assists you to be plugged in to access the Akashic Records. So that's part of the way that I teach, and some other teachers teach. Not everyone seems to include that. Many people, some people teach through a guided journey type experience. I used to teach in this way. I have learnt in this way. So a guided journey type experience where we visualize and imagine going along a pathway and arriving at the hall of the Akashic Records, which is one of the ways that's understood and seen, is like a library of, like a hall, a massive library containing all the records of every person and every situation, every place. So you can go on a guided journey and be given admittance to the Akashic Records, and then meet your guide or guides, and then go and access information from your Akashic Records. So that's the way some people teach. And then after a while, it becomes easier to actually just plug in directly. So that's the way that I learned, is doing the guided journey. And then I was able to do a simplified version of that guided journey and just plug in like quite quickly rather than doing a whole journey. The other way that I learned is how I work and teach, is to open into the energy of the Akashic Records. So recognizing, like any level of consciousness, we're connected with that. We don't have to go somewhere to access that. We can access that right here, right now. So that's how I teach and work, is to open into the energy of the Akashic Records. That works well for me because I'm a healer. So you're working in the energy, and a lot of healing happens as well. And as well as working with particular intentions around healing, just being in the energy of the Akashic Records is connecting you more with your soul, your soul's energy. It's connecting you with that high vibrational energy. So it's, you know, it's pretty amazing to work in the energy of the Akashic Records. So that's how I work. And at the same time, you can access, I do bring in some of my, the way that I learned, in the sense that I just plug in and access information directly, detailed information for people that I'm assisting, or from myself, as well as working in the energy and receiving messages in that way. I also plug in and access specific information. So to do that, you can access the Akashic Records for yourself. That's your divine birthright. And you can access the Akashic Records for people that give you permission, for loved ones. People have different views on that. So it's according to your own, you know, sense of what is right and appropriate with that person that is one of your loved ones or family, especially children or partners. You know, many people think that's appropriate, that you can access the Akashic Records for your close loved ones. That's up to your own discernment and sense of what feels right for you. So, and Akashic Records is very much about that. It's about taking that level of, it's about choice. It's about the understanding the choices that we've made and the choices that we are making and how that affects us. So again, that is a choice, and we take responsibility for that and the cause and effect of that. So that's very aligned with the whole consciousness of the Akashic Records, to make your own choice about being in integrity with yourself and, you know, your highest expression when you're working with the Akashic Records, because that's creating an energy. That's a choice, creating an energy. Okay, so what type of records can you access? Well, what type of information can you access? So you can access information, it's quite infinite, to be honest. You can access information about your past lives, you know, key choices that you've made, it isn't about focusing on the past life. It's about understanding the past life and how that's affecting you now. So that's a little bit different. I don't encourage people to overly dwell on the past life, because it's about living life now and gaining the understanding, and also being able to understand choices that you made then, how they're affecting you, and actually to shift the energy, to transform the energy of those choices if they are affecting you negatively now. So you can access multidimensional information from different levels of yourself. You can access information from your higher self, from all your team, your teachers, masters, guides. Really develop those relationships working in the Akashic Records. You can access information about where you live, your property, your workplace. You can access information about your business, about your purpose, about projects, books that you want to write. You can access information and guidance, and it's like a form of very heightened communication that you can communicate with nature. You can open the Akashic Records for the ocean and receive messages and insights, or the wind, or a tree, or animals, plants. I have done all these things, and you can do that without opening the Akashic Records, but I find that it's very amazing to open into the energy of the ocean, or a tree, or a plant, or an animal. It's a very beautiful thing. So but it's really up to your creative imagination, the types of information that you might want to access, as long as you have permission to access that. So you can't access information. Curiosity is not a really good energy to access the Akashic Records from. So you want to be accessing information to assist yourself, to assist others, rather than just, you don't actually have the right to access information about others just because you're curious. It's not the highest energy. So the intention and energy with which you access the Akashic Records is important. Okay, so I think I've covered. Okay, so types, ways you can work in the Akashic Record is something I was going to speak about briefly. So you can access, as I've said, you can access information and guidance for yourself and others. You can also clear contracts, agreements, different types of agreements that are no longer serving you. So this is very helpful in the Akashic Records. This can make a huge difference, because often we've made agreements in other lifetimes that are still affecting us. I think most people have, that are still affecting us negatively. For example, if you've made, many spiritual people have had religious lifetimes. I know I've had many religious lifetimes and made agreements that are the energy of which is not serving me anymore. For example, agreements of religious obedience, or poverty, chastity, and obedience, things like that. These type of agreements can block your full expression, so they're not serving your highest good. And yet the patterns of these agreements can feel so normal that it's just what we do. So the Akashic Records, working in the Akashic Records, brings consciousness around our choices, and how they're affecting us, what we're creating from those choices, and that consciousness assists both us and the people that we work with to create change and to be more conscious about how about the choices that we're making and what they're creating for us. So, my perspective is that for, if you're a healer or a coach or a intuitive, I would love to see people working with Akashic Records in all types of work situations. I think it could be really amazing to be, working, anything, to be bringing that level of consciousness and awareness to more mainstream employment, and to be accessing information to assist with your staff, for example, or to assist with a project that you're working on. It's unlimited. You can work with the Akashic Records to assist you to write content, to write a book. So I do a lot of healing in the Akashic Records, as I said. So that's one of the ways that you can work with the energy for healing, for transforming energies. That's something I do a lot in the records, is being a healer, is rather than just give people information. I want to give people information that assists them to create positive change in their life. I want to give them information that assists them with awareness to make new choices, and also to heal. We can shift and heal and transform energy in the Akashic Records. We can remove and transform lower energies that may be interfering with us. For example, something I've helped people with a lot is the energy of curses. People may not realize that. What is a curse? A curse is when someone ill wishes you, or with a certain intention to that, the energy can be still affecting you. So we can clean that up, things like that. So that's some of the main ways that I work with the Akashic Records. So also activating future outcomes and projects. That's one of my favorite things to do, because we can access the future with the Akashic Records too. So we can access, for example, we can visualize a outcome we would like. For example, a future version of ourselves, like, myself in 1 year time, speaking on a stage, holding the book that I've written, for example, is an outcome that I can activate in the Akashic Records, and I can receive guidance and information about that, and I can bring the energy and activate that energy in my body, and so I'm actually in the energy of that outcome. So I think that's pretty cool, and I find working with clients and with myself that it fast tracks, because you're actually embodying that energy and bringing that in. It actually fast tracks achieving that outcome. I see that all the time. And when you bring other tools, so I think the Akashic Record works very well with bringing other tools to that, because other tools can be helpful, like coaching or EFT. Other types of healing can go really well with the Akashic Records, because they can help bring things through to the third dimension, to really ground the information and insights into for healing. To using other methods can assist to really bring that energy through into the body. Coaching can assist to, with strategies and action steps to bring those insights through into your life. Because and this is important, I feel. So for many spiritual people, we're very comfortable living in the spiritual. So accessing Akashic Records is beautiful, amazing energy. But if you don't do anything with the energy, with the insights, with the guidance, and bring that through, nothing changes. So very important to have ways to ground the energy and bring that through. Understanding it's not enough. Consciousness needs to be brought through into new choices, new actions to change your life, to change anything. Yes. Yes, integrity is so important. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the main information I wanted to share about the Akashic Records generally, just to share with you a bit about ways that you can work with that, some of the, it's, just sharing with that from my own experience and ways that I've worked with that and what I've seen other people doing too. So most of everything I talked about I do work with, however. So I wanted to share a bit about my own journey with the Akashic Records, because I think that makes it more, it's I like hearing people's story and journey. So I started working with the Akashic Records, learning the Akashic Records about 5 years ago with my first teacher, Andrea Hess, and I'm very much an energy person, probably as many of you are here. You're welcome. And I found that as I started to connect with the energy of the Akashic Records, it started to shift my vibration. It started to shift my vibration and assisting me to connect more with my soul energy and my purpose. I think really straight away when I started connecting with the energy of the Akashic Records, for me, because I'm a real energy person, there was such an energy shift. I hadn't heard of the Akashic Records before that. Actually, I was studying art therapy, and that's the main thing that I'd been studying, art therapy. I'd studied many healing modalities. I knew I was a healer when I was 16, but I wasn't doing my work. I had studied many modalities. I'd studied counseling. I'd studied art therapy. And when I finished my art therapy, I said, I know I'm here to do something important for me. I have something to do that I'm here to do. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I want to do this. I know there's something I'm here to do. And I put that out to the universe, and I said, bring me what I need to do that, to do my work full time, to really step into my work. Because when I finished studying art therapy, I realized many of the people weren't actually practicing and using art therapy, and I thought, I don't want to be that person. I want to really have my toolkit, if you like, and be stepping into that and really helping people. I really want to do this. And I came across the Akashic Records, and though I'd never heard of them, I had not thought I want to be an intuitive, or it wasn't something, of course, like many of you, I knew I was intuitive, but I'd never thought, I want to be a psychic, I want to be an intuitive and practice that. I'd never thought that. I knew I was a healer. So I came across the Akashic Records, and I just trusted my feeling about that and went with it and said, okay, I'm not sure where this is going, but I feel strongly to learn this. So I started learning, and I found it so insightful, so powerful to have more understanding about my soul, firstly, to understand that, I wasn't from Earth. I was from Actuvia, from my soul group is Mintakan, and understanding that I was not from here just made so much sense to me, and understanding more about my soul and how I was here to express myself all helped me connect more with who I was and what I was here to do. Because the thing is that because we've made so many choices that are not aligned with who we are and what we're here to do. So in all lifetimes, we've made the best choice that we felt at the time we could see to make. We're always making the best choice we could do at the time. There's no blame in that. But when we make choices that aren't aligned with our purpose and our path, and often for reasons of survival or to, to be liked, things like that, to be fit in with other people or with societal rules, we might make choices that are not about being who we are. And in fact, we definitely make those choices to not be who we are and not do what we're here to do for some of those reasons and many other reasons. So the Akashic Records helps to start to peel back those layers, to have the understanding and consciousness about who we are, what we're here to do, the choices we've made that are not aligned, and to start to connect more with our essence, with our soul, and who we really are, that we are not this, as I'm sure you all, many of you understand and realize in your own way, we're not this personality or this, this body. We're an essence, a consciousness. And so I found for me that the Akashic Records really helped me to connect more with the truth of myself, with the essence of myself, with my self as a divine being, with the way that the divine is wanting to express through me. So it was just a huge shift for me. I think particularly because I had a lot of, and I see this commonly with spiritual people, a lot of disempowerment and choices that I had made choices that I had made. So it's about taking responsibility. Choices that I had made had disempowered myself. So I had a lot of disempowering energies, and I'm still navigating some of those in my life and my Akashic Records, and really because it takes time when you've made a choice for, a couple of hundred lifetimes to give away your power, to not speak your truth, to not be who you are. It takes time to change. And even with that awareness, so the Akashic Records helped me to start to understand some of the choices I had made and how they were affecting me, and to have the consciousness to change them. And what that meant was that finally I stepped into doing my work. I connected with that essential part of myself in a more tangible way, I think, than I had before, and access that energy. Some of the blocks, it's like our soul energy wants to flow through us and express through us into our life in the ways that we share who we are with the world and assist people and contribute. But there's blocks. This is the way I explain it. It's like there's blocks that don't let that energy flow properly. So with the Akashic Record, you can start to shift some of those blocks, clear and transform some of those blocks so the energy is flowing better. So for me, as soon as I started to read and work with and access the Akashic Records, that energy started to shift. So I felt more connected and more energy flowing from my soul. And I've seen this with other people. I mean, I saw this with my son, my youngest son, for example, when I did work clearing, with his permission, clearing and healing work with his Akashic Records. He walked different. He stood taller. His energy was just so much more powerful and embodied because he'd experienced some bullying and some disempowering things. And I saw the shift just from doing that clearing work for him. And I know I can see, the difference in myself as I access more and more of that energy from the divine and from my soul. And the Akashic Records has been key in that, of clearing those blocks, having insight into those patterns and clearing those up and bringing through, expressing more of who I am. So I've been working with the Akashic Records for about 5 years, teaching for about 3 years. 3 years ago I began teaching. For me, it's given me, well, not given me, but it's helped me access so much more of who I am, to feel more confident, to feel more empowered, and just to fast track being who I'm here to be and sharing what I'm here to share. So I'm very grateful for the Akashic Records and my teachers, and very passionate about sharing with people too, because it's such an amazing resource that people may think, I know I thought in the beginning, I was intuitive, but I thought, will I be able to do this? My perspective on that is that if you're intuitive, you can, if you're sort of reasonably intuitive, it's not hard to learn. I do make it easy in the ways that I teach. To, opening to the energy makes it easier, I find, to be receiving messages and insights, and just tap into that energy for ourselves and others, and then start receiving specific information. And the way that I learned, and the way that I still practice, is to use a pendulum to access information. So I started with asking yes or no questions, and receiving information, and then I learned, I would receive sort of insights, and I would check them with the pendulum, and I can still do that sometimes. And then I started just downloading and receiving information. So I found, and I see this all the time, that the Akashic Records helps to open up our gifts. It helps to, fast track that development of receiving information. I love working the Akashic Records because it's, especially for sensitive people, and I'm so highly sensitive. It's sort of off the chart sensitive. And so the Akashic Records gives you a structured way to access intuitive information. It's a sacred, it's working in a sacred, contained way, and accessing information, so you're accessing high vibration information from the angels or from your teachers, from your master. There's not interference with that. The Akashic Records are very protected. So there's a lot of benefits for developing your intuition and working in the Akashic Records, in my opinion, compared with other ways of accessing intuitive information. Because you know where you're receiving the information from, and it's, you're working that sacred space in that high vibration energy that is very protected. So I really love that about the Akashic Records. And I think for sensitive people that have closed down their gifts because they didn't feel safe to open, it's a really good way, because you know what you're accessing. There's some structure to opening and closing the Akashic Records, and it's a very safe, protected space. Okay, so I think that that sort of covers what I wanted to talk about. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you. Okay. Looks like no questions. So, if you're in a place where you can take about 15 minutes or so, might be a bit longer, to access to have an experience of the Akashic Records, and we're going to, as I said, to do a guided process, where we clear blocks to accessing your spiritual gifts. So if that's something you're interested in and on board with, please do join us in this experience. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Great. That's great, Katerina. It's good to have confirmation. Great. So if you're driving or in a place that's not appropriate to do this guided journey, please listen to it later, because being in an altered state and driving, or out somewhere, is not the right place to access this. It's really a sacred experience, and it's great if you can just honor that in a quiet space where you can really get the most benefit and go deeper into that. Hi there, Irina. Lovely to see you here. And so if you'd like to get comfortable, and we'll go through the guided experience. So I'll just start with some I usually start with grounding and just some clearing and connection, and because I find that supports me and you to have the best experience, because I'm very sensitive. So when I'm working with, even in this situation, I'm holding the energy for the experience for everyone. So even though, potentially across the world, and throughout time and space, listening at another time, I'm still holding the energy for this experience. So I like to do some clearing of the energies that supports me and your experience. Hi there. We're just about to do the guided experience, Teresa and Irene. We're just about to do the experiences, guided experience, if you've just joined. So if you're in a place, it's good to do that. Great. If you're driving or somewhere that's not suitable, please listen to this later. So we'll start with, just some connection clearing. Oh, thank you. And then we'll open into the energy of the Akashic Records. As I shared, that's how I work with the Akashic Records. And then we'll do some clearing of blocks and agreements not to access your gifts, and whatever comes intuitively to work with in that moment to assist you to be more fully accessing your spiritual gifts. That's what I was guided to share with you today. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for letting me know that. Great. Okay, so taking a deep breath. Right down into the belly. And letting the breath all the way out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Imagine sending a grounding cord from the base of the spine right down into the earth, and wrapping that around a crystal at the core of the earth. And releasing down that grounding cord, and from the energy field, setting an intention to release from the energy field and the body any energy that no longer serves you, releasing that down into the earth. And setting an intention for that to continue throughout this journey. And just feeling yourself, just as you're going to do some, just breathing out into the earth, breathing that old energy out. And breathing in the energy from the earth. Right up through the body, so I've got a nice breathing out. And breathing in. Like you're breathing with the earth. And just feeling with every breath that you become more and more just grounded into the earth. Really supported and grounded. and held by the earth in the most beautiful way. Releasing any fears, any anxieties or concerns, just releasing those down into the earth. So you just feel really safe and held by Mother Earth and supported, knowing that it is safe to access your intuition, your gifts. It's safe, you're safe. You'll only access what's right for you today. And this can continue to unfold over time. This activation can continue to unfold over time in the perfect way for you. Nice. Feeling your connection with Divine Creator, Divine Source as you understand that. Imagine a stream of white light coming down from Divine Creator, right down through the crown, through the center of the body, right down into the earth. Imagine opening that out so that you're surrounded and held in this sacred energy, in divine energy, bringing all of your field, bringing your field and everything in your field into alignment. I'm actually going to say a prayer in Hebrew to begin that I feel guided to say at this moment, because this prayer really lifts the vibration beautifully. Anabakoik yedula timinka tatizura kabelrinat amchasagvenu tarnundura nagibo doshe dukade kabat shamrem vashem tarem rakame zikatek timid kamlen chasinkadosh baroftuvkana hel aratek yeshidge Lam Chapane Zogre Kudushatek Shavatanu Kabelishma Zakatanu Yade Talamont Barakshem Kavod Makuto Lulom Vohed. Vibration prayers and mantras of vibration, a powerful way to just shift the energy, raise the energy. Increasing that alignment. And I am just doing healing and clearing for everyone who would like that in the space, who gives permission for that, as I naturally do when I work. Coming into the heart. Washing your heart through with rose quartz colored divine love energy, pink energy, just washing that through your heart. From that space, from feeling into your heart space, being with that for a moment. And from your heart space, opening into the love, light and wisdom of the Akasha that's all around us, interpenetrating with the physical and non-physical reality. Letting the doors of awareness open to receive the love, light and wisdom of the Akasha. Calling down the temples of love, light and wisdom of the Akasha to be here now. Calling the Akashic Lords, Masters, Guardians and Guides, Teachers and Masters, who wish to assist us today. Calling my personal team of guides, guardians, teachers and angels. And feel that energy coming in. Just feeling yourself held in the sacred energy of the Akasha. Just noticing what that energy feels like for you. And the way that I work with the Akasha is to notice with all of my senses, with my visually, hearing, smelling, feeling, sensing, tasting even. Just notice what that energy feels like for you, that beautiful energy of the Akasha. often see light and color like sparkly energies or just light in different form. I sense and feel the energy, I hear it. I'm getting to do a bit more cleansing here, so I'd like you to imagine liquid gold rain coming down. It's like made from the divine substance that is liquid gold. And just bringing that down through the crown and all around the field. Bring that down through the field. Thank you for just joining us now, doing a guided experience. Bring that liquid gold rain down through the crown, down through the field, especially through the brain, through the third eye. All cleansing, releasing, dissolving any energies that are not for your good. Feeling that liquid gold, feeling, seeing, sensing, that moving through the energy and through the field, all through the brain. There's often a lot of energies in the brain that are not really serving. So letting those start to be cleansed and move through the field. Bring the liquid gold through the third eye. People often have many people have blocks in the third eye, fully interfering with fully opening that. Beautiful, thank you. So bringing that liquid gold all the way through the face and the head, down through the throat, down through the shoulders, back of the head, all the way down through the field. Feel it coming around all around the body and the field and the energy. You might at some point notice, see or sense a presence. It might be one of your teachers or masters or guides, one of the angels. I often notice a presence, a particular presence when I open into the energy of the Akasha. Someone turns up to assist me. There's often many beings present, but you might notice one particularly. You might see, sense that presence has come to assist today for your good. It can be most helpful to you today. And bring that liquid gold down right through the throat. There's often a lot of blocks to the that's why I'm feeling a lot in the third eye today, because we're clearing blocks to fully expressing the spiritual gifts. So we're already starting to do that in the energy. So working with the liquid gold is one of the ways we start to clear the energy, not just energy in the energetic field, but actually clearing energy in the energetic field, but we're working more in the Akashic field. So it's the energy not just in the etheric body, but in the energy field from all lifetimes. The energy, any energy that's blocking, this can be a past life thing too, that's really in the energy field. So I'm feeling a lot of clearing taking place in the third eye. So I'm very empathic and sensitive, so I start to pick up where the energy is clearing for the group. So I'm feeling a lot in the third eye. So just letting that liquid gold move through there, and knowing that that will happen in the right way for you, just to clear whatever you're ready to clear. Also clearing, I've been finding a lot of blocks in there's a line of connection between with our soul and with divine creators. So just sending that liquid gold down that connective cord and cleansing that out with the liquid gold, because this is where a lot of interference can come with accessing the spiritual gifts. So just seeing that liquid gold cleansing rain, liquid gold cleansing down the cords, connecting with divine creator, divine source, and with your soul. And bring that down, liquid gold down through the body, through the energy, down through the shoulders, through the throat. Often I'm feeling blocks there too, with fully expressing who you are, speaking your truth, expressing the person you're here to be, expressing your gifts. Many of us have made choices not to do that. Similarly, if there's blocks in the third eye, it's through choices and agreements not to access your gifts, not to, often due to safety or just feeling you weren't allowed to do that, or that you didn't have a choice about that. I can feel the energy shift and lightening as we're doing this work for everyone. I really feel shifts taking place here. The energy feels a lot lighter and clearer. You might notice that in your own way. Bringing the liquid gold down, right down through the field, down through the heart, all around the chest and the heart, the shoulders, right down through the solar plexus, really clearing. Right down the back, all around the back. Yeah, there's some clearing in the back. Nice. And clearing through the solar plexus. There's often a lot of stuff there that's creating blocks in confidence, in expressing our purpose. So bringing that liquid gold down through the solar plexus. And clearing anything that can be cleared today out through the solar plexus, freeing that energy up there, clearing any heavy old energy from the solar plexus. Keeping the breath going nice and full. I do cough when I'm clearing energy for other people. It's how my body just clears energy, so I'm not keeping that in my body. Feeling a lot of energy being cleared in solar plexus. The solar plexus is actually like the abdominal brain, so there can be a lot of like negative programming and things there, so just starting to cleanse and release some of that. We feel a lot of heavy energy in the solar plexus. This really affects confidence. It affects expressing the purpose and stepping into that, even being clear about your purpose and who you're here to be and what you're here to do. It can create confusion when there's blocks in the solar plexus. So bring that liquid gold right through there. Nice. Feeling Archangel Uriel just came in assisting today. So there's some heavy energies there in the field in solar plexus. So bring that liquid gold down through the base chakra, clearing, dissolving any old energies, any attachments, any old fear energy, any blocks, anything that's not serving in the base chakra, in the hips, legs, knees, feet, right down into the earth, intending this energy to continue cleansing and releasing through this Akashic session. So how are you feeling? I'm really feeling a huge shift and lightening and cleansing of the energy. So I have set the intention to be clearing any blocks, to fully accessing your spiritual gifts. So this is already happening. I'm feeling a lot of cleansing happening in the base chakra as well. Thank you. Really clearing out some of that fear and old stories and energies. I'm feeling a lot in the base. Yes, thank you, Irene, for letting me know. Yeah, feels way lighter to me too, so for the group. So really just clearing old energies, old stories at the base chakra that it's not safe to express your gifts, to be who you are. This is just all old stories and beliefs in the energy. So bringing that liquid gold through now and just clearing and releasing whatever you're ready to clear and release. This is actually a big clearing. I can feel it. Yes, beautiful. Thank you for letting me know. I can feel a big shift for the group. The energy feels so much lighter and brighter. I love doing this work with more people. It's really powerful. It's like we, you know, when we clear and shift energy, especially working the Akasha, it's like we lighten that not just for ourselves, but for the collective. So it becomes, you know, certainly my intention with working too, that we clear these blocks for everyone, you know, so it's a bit lighter for everyone, so it becomes easier for the collective humanity to access their gifts and be who they are. So we do this work and that effect filters through. So clearing this energy at the base chakra. This card is starting to get a bit lighter now. I really feel brighter and lighter, the fear energy. You know, because that, when there's a lot of fear and stuff at the base chakra, it's survival, instinctual, and I find that's one of the main things that stops people, is just all the fear in the base chakra, usually from past life, traumatic experiences, things like that, even this life. So clearing. Okay, Penny, welcome. So we're in a guided experience at the moment in the Akashic energy, so you're welcome to join in that. We're just doing some cleansing through the field, so if you wish to participate in this, just allowing that cleansing. We're cleansing with liquid gold energy right through the body and the energy, letting that move through. I'm feeling to do some more cleansing. Oh, thank you. It's lovely to hear the feedback about this. I do find this so powerful. It can clear on so many levels. This can actually make a huge shift. That's the thing with the Akashic work. It can shift quite quickly, big stuff. And, you know, I love assisting people to shift and clear and transform the stuff that's been blocking them. So yeah, it certainly feels a lot lighter. So intending for this to continue, if you would like that, to be activated through your own free will and intention, to continue this cleansing process over the coming days. So it's at a comfortable pace for you. Just cleansing and releasing anything from the field that no longer serves. It's blocking spiritual gifts. Nice. We're finished, I'm told. So, good. So, I'm going to do another part of visualization of this now too. I'd like you to imagine in front of you a spiritual fire of violet flames, purple flames, and like just red and orange, like a sacred fire. I see purple, violet, I see red and orange, I see blue flames. And into that fire, wonderful. Thank you so much for letting me know. I love the feedback. And I'd like to imagine in the fire, throwing into the fire all the contracts and agreements that you've made in all lifetimes not to use your gifts. So I imagine, you might have a different way of imagining, but I imagine the contracts like in a manila folder, and I just throw in the contracts that I've made not to use my gifts, or any contracts and agreements that have been made not to use your gifts, or blocking using your gifts. Any curses might be another folder that have been made to block you using your gifts, or to interfere. You can throw that in the fire. You can throw in the fire any types of spells or that have been interfering and affecting a folder with those in any type of magical interventions that have been interfering with using your gifts. Throwing those in the fire. Any agreements of find things like obedience to particular organizations or institutions, that groups that can stop using your gifts, that can interfere with using your gifts. So any agreements with people or groups or organizations that stop you using your gifts. So agreements to be loyal to particular belief systems that no longer serve you. Vows, any vows and agreements not to use your gifts. Agreements not to speak your truth, I'm getting. Agreements not to, agreements and decisions that it's not safe to speak your truth, it's not safe to be who you are, it's not safe to use your gifts, that you're not allowed to use your gifts. Just releasing those. Yay, very good, thank you. So just imagine this, throwing these files and folders into the fire and just seeing them just burn up and just disperse, transform, so they just don't have any energy anymore. Even any agreements in the ancestral lineage, you can imagine a file and folder of those and just throwing those in the fire that you've been carrying. Any curses or agreements not to use your gifts, to beliefs, throwing those in the fire. Things you've been carrying in the lineage that have been interfering with any energies or agreements, patterns that have been carrying in the lineage, in your ancestral lineage, in your blood line, interfering with, in your DNA, that have been interfering with using your gifts and expressing who you are. Throwing those in the fire too. Giving thanks for the assistance today from the beloved archangels, teachers and masters, Akashic Lords, and masters assisting us today to transform these old energies that no longer serve. Asking the Lords of Karma to clear any karma that can be cleared today for people that is interfering with fully accessing their spiritual gifts. And that feels like it's complete. That's what can be cleared today. So when we clear something, we want to replace it with something. So I invite you to imagine yourself, let's say in 12 months' time, just seeing that fire just burning down now, and it's just ashes left, and they're just going back into the earth, becoming part of the earth. There's nothing left. Nice. I'd like you to imagine yourself in 12 months' time, perhaps, or another time frame might come to you, just fully expressing your spiritual gifts. Whatever comes to you. It might be expressing what you do already at a whole new level, where you're really accessing your gifts, accessing your divine gifts, who you are, who you're here to be. Not just your intuitive gifts, but also, some of the other gifts like divine love, divine wisdom, divine truth. Really accessing your soul's wisdom and gifts. and expressing that and sharing that with the world in some way at a whole new level, and feeling so, seeing yourself standing there in your brilliance and how amazing that feels. Yeah, sure, of course you can re-access this. You're welcome to do it again. So, just imagining yourself just in your brilliance, in your radiance, just doing what you do at a whole new level with a new sense of freedom and joy and ease and grace. That sense of real groundedness and safety and confidence. You know, that makes it possible for you to do things that perhaps you've been not doing. So you might see yourself speaking to people on a stage, or making videos, or just serving more people in some way, teaching, speaking out the front of a group of people, or sitting in circle and sharing. See yourself speaking freely, sharing of your gifts and wisdom, and that flowing beautifully. Just feeling, just being you at a whole new level, and how amazing that is. How easy that is and natural, because it's who you are, who you're here to be. Just noticing the colours that you notice, what you're wearing. Notice how you feel. Notice the energy. You're welcome. So, just notice how other people are responding to you. You might hear sounds. You might feel really supportive energies around you from your spiritual team, from all the support and love that's there for you. Just allowing yourself to take a moment now to just breathing this energy, this new level of being and expression into your cells. Whole new, activating that in your cells. Breathing this into your body. So you're really embodying this new energy and activating this in your cells, in your energy body, at every level. Just giving that a few moments to integrate. Knowing that, set an intention that this unfolds in perfect time, knowing that you'll only allow and experience what you're ready for. Asking that your guides and teachers and angels assist you to assist this experience to unfold in divine timing for you, in perfect timing and unfolding. Hi there, we're just finishing up now, so Just releasing any fears, any concerns around that, and knowing that you are guided and safe and protected in all ways. Your team is overviewing the unfoldment in divine timing for you. Okay, now we're going to finish up now, close the records. We're going to give thanks to all those who have assisted us today, to the Akashic guardians, guides, lords, masters, teachers, angels and archangels who have assisted today, to all those who have come and assist today. We give thanks. Breathing back into existence, the door between worlds. The Akashic Records are now closed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nice. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that experience. It sounds like people that gave me some feedback were really enjoying that, which is, you know, that's wonderful. I love sharing and that people are benefiting from that. If you would like to experience more and learn more about the Akashic Records, you're welcome to join my group. There's a link in the video under the event invite. There's a link to my group. You're welcome to join. I noticed some people from this group have already joined. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, and it's lovely to share with you. And if you feel drawn to, I do have a class coming up, starting on the 2nd, 3rd of. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know that was really deep. I am a depth person, so I'm glad that you noticed that. Beautiful, thank you. I love the detailed feedback, thank you. Appreciate that. And yeah, I do work really deeply. That's part of my energy, to work really deeply. I love that you're getting that. So yeah, I do have a class coming up, starting an introductory class, the Akashic Records. So if this calls you, that might be something that you'd like to join in. Actually decided to make a special offer for this group. So if you're drawn to my introductory class, it's $222 US at the moment, but I'm going to offer that for $177 US. So it starts on the 2nd, 3rd of June. It'll be 3 consecutive weeks. It'll be, you know, it's very good for just the next step, making it easy to just, you know, access information and develop your own ways of working in the Akashic Records. So you're welcome to ask me about that, or, you know, PM me, comment. So if you're from this group, I'm happy to offer that at that special price. Just let me know. So love to connect about that. Oh, my glasses. I think I need stronger glasses. You're welcome. Yeah, I love giving people a really experience of the, I love to see you here, Michelle. We're just finishing up. So yeah, people seem to enjoy it and go deep with that experience and really experience the energy shifts. And I'm actually loving working in a group and feeling the energy transformation that, you're welcome, Michelle, feeling the group energy transformation, and knowing that, you know, as healers and, you know, as we come together and do this work, we're creating a shift for ourselves, but also we're like affecting that, creating that shift and change through the collective, lightening some of that energy that's been blocking people from being who they are, from expressing their gifts. So that's what we did today, which is really cool, because I love working to benefit the collective consciousness and create shifts and really lighten that energy for everyone. So it's like paving the way as we, you know, move through some of the energies that have been blocking us. We make it easier for everyone else. Ah, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, that's what I love, Michelle. I really am very drawn to that. I'm very drawn to doing that healing work to just help the collective consciousness and shift some of these things, these energies that have been blocking people and lightening that for everyone. So I feel when we get together like this, even two people getting together, we're really able to do that work together and participate in that work for the collective and really lighten that energy. So I feel blessed to share that with you today. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to finish up. You're welcome to, imagine the video will still be in the group. You can watch it again, enjoy it, and I really appreciate all the people that have shown up today and the wonderful feedback. Thank you so much. Oh, how beautiful. I love that. Sitting with nature. That would be lovely. Okay, so thank you. I'll finish up now. Look forward to communicating with you in the group.